began asymptomatic
Several
testing.
student organizations at FGCU, Oregon, and we're going to play Guess the Song.
Hello, welcome to Hanging with the Executives here at the Bauer School of Music.
And you're watching ENTV.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Hard Hitters. I'm your host for this week, Kevin Rollins, joined alongside
Carson Zorn and Nick Aslin.
It's been a minute since we did Hard Hitters with all the hurricane situation happening in Fort Myers. We're glad you guys are okay. We're glad that you guys, viewers, are okay. This has definitely been an interesting sort of bye weeks for the Hard Hitter series, but a lot of things happening in the NFL, some good things, some bad things, and then something that was even badder than bad this past week. Thursday Night Football, the Colts at the Broncos, no touchdowns. Colts barely win in overtime, 12-9. Game so bad you might think it's good.
Yeah, what a way to come back to Hard Hitters is covering the Colts and Broncos Thursday Night Football game where neither team could score a touchdown. Both teams look awful.
Yeah, apparently horse teams are just not destined to do good this year. They're like a limp horse, both of them are. That was such a boring game, but because I like watching football, I watched all 60 minutes and then overtime. For some reason, I subjected myself to that game.
We move on now to week 6. Few teams already going on bye week as we start this week for Thursday Night Football. Thursday night doesn't always have the best matchups. Hopefully this game could be better than last week's game. Washington Commanders travel to Chicago, take on the Bears.
Yeah, another great Thursday Night Football matchup we got here, the Commanders and the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears for this matchup. They hung in pretty good against the Vikings last week, and the Commanders, their defense is just really rough, and there could be some tensions going on between Carson Wentz and head coach Ron Rivera.
I am going to take the Commanders here. I think the Bears are honestly kind of the better team, but something just feels in my gut that the Commanders are going to take it. I think Carson Wentz is going to be playing angry. He's going to have Jahan Dotson back, who's been a superstar.
The Bears have shown a lot of promise this season, and I think the Bears will win this week for Thursday night. We move on now to the Sunday games. First up is the 49ers staying on the East Coast. They take on the Falcons.
I think I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one. The Falcons have put up a lot of fight, but the 49ers are just better in almost every way. Their defense is elite. Jimmy G, he's not the best quarterback, but he's better than Marcus Mariota. The 49ers actually have weapons. They know how to utilize their tight end, unlike the Falcons, apparently. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
Next game, the Patriots take on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland.
This is a tough one because I don't know for sure if Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones is going to be starting for the Patriots, even though they're pretty much the same person as everyone has theorized. I just think the Browns, with how they're attacking, they know they're just coasting until Deshaun Watson gets back. They just need to win enough games that when Deshaun Watson gets back, he can take over. And they know what works for them, and what works for them is handing the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt about 30 times a game. And I think that'll work against the Patriots this week, and I have the Browns winning.
I think the Patriots, this will be the usual Bill finds a way, and the Patriots will win this week. Our next game, the Packers had a very questionable game in London, losing to the Giants after having a lead at halftime. They head back home to face a Jets team that is suddenly showing a lot of promise after a complete dismantling of my team, the Dolphins, late on Sunday. Can the Packers bounce back?
This hurts. I'm going to take the Jets here.
No.
Our defense cannot stop a crossing route to save their life. If the Jets just run crossing routes every single play of the game, they might put 60 up against us. The defense is completely out of control. We made Daniel Jones look like Patrick Mahomes last week. The offense without Devontae Adams still hasn't found their way. We need to turn it around before week 8 when we play the Bills, or we might not have a team left.
That is very surprising to hear from you, picking the Jets to beat the Packers. If anything, I think what could lose the Packers the game is if Breece Hall goes off again. But I'm still going to pick the Packers over the Jets. I'm very surprised you're the Packers fan have that little faith in his team. We know Zach Wilson got that dog in him. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to start to figure it out here this week.
Now, another team that is looking a lot better than usual against a team that is just looking more disappointing by the week, the Jaguars at the Colts.
This one is in Indianapolis, so I'm picking the Colts over the Jags. I don't feel confident in it because the Colts have just continued to disappoint me every week, whereas the Jaguars are more of a surprise. But I can't justify picking the Jags right now after they just lost to the Texans.
My team, the Miami Dolphins, we were at a high point a few weeks ago. We defeated the Buffalo Bills after a long losing streak to them. We were 3-0 undefeated. Tua did get hurt, but he was still playing well. But then everything fell apart, and we have to head back home, take on the Minnesota Vikings team that's playing a lot better. Man, it's been a struggle. As of right now, I think the Vikings win this game. Hopefully, some pieces on the Dolphins will come back, but it's been a terrible past few weeks to be a Dolphins fan. Carson, you're taking out your frustration on both of us this week. Hopefully, your frustrations can be eased as your Bengals, they head back to Louisiana. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, LSU, go Tigers. It's an LSU reunion in New Orleans. They take on the Saints. There could be a lot of LSU fans cheering on the Bengals this week.
You know, we got an Andy Dalton revenge game coming against the Bengals, but an Andy Dalton revenge game is kind of similar to a Baker Mayfield revenge game in which he's going to crap the bed. The Bengals, I don't know what there is to say about this team right now. We're 2-3. We've lost the games we should have won, and then we've won the games I thought we were going to lose. Our offense is too good. We have too many great weapons to be putting up 17 points a game against the league's worst passing defense. I don't know what happened there. I am going to take us to beat the Saints just because I think they're a little depleted on defense. Not too much, but I think they've got a couple injuries mingled in there. And then their offense, Chris Olave had that concussion. They might be starting Andy Dalton. Michael Thomas is still iffy. So I'm going to take this as a get-right week for us. Joe Burrow and Jamar return to Louisiana, and they put up a win.
Our next game, the Giants, we thought they were frauds, but they somehow went into London, beat the Packers. Sorry, Nick. They do have another chance this week, though. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, they come to town.
Yeah, I didn't even expect the Giants to win 4 games this season, let alone be 4-1. But I don't think they're going to beat the Ravens. I think the Ravens are too good of a team to lose to the Giants. Even though they're playing on the road, I think the Ravens are still going to win this one.
Steelers, what happened? They are not good to say the least. They do have Kenny Pickett starting, but he's throwing more picks than he should be throwing touchdowns. Maybe the Steelers might play up to the competition. Probably not.
Are the Steelers even alive? Do
Yeah.
they have players for this game after last week losing to the Bills? I mean, granted they're playing in Pittsburgh for this, so I don't expect another demolishing like last week against the Bills. But I think the Bucs are going to come in there needing a really good game, needing a good turnaround after a rough couple weeks for the Bucs, and the Bucs will just fight them out.
Yeah. There have been teams every year that is like the definition of a get-right team. Like if a team that's supposed to be really good is like kind of not performing up to their standards, they go in and, last year I just called it the Jaguars, I call it the Texans. This year the Steelers are the get-right team, man.
And now it's our Sunday late afternoon games. The Panthers, they did lose last week to the 49ers, but they won in the long run. They parted ways with head coach Matt Rule.
The Panthers have got nothing to lose, and that sometimes is the most dangerous team to play, is the team that's got nothing to lose. But I still got the Rams beating them. The Rams, I think, are suffering from Super Bowl hangover, so are the Bengals. I thought Super Bowl hangover was only supposed to hit one of the teams, but it's hit both of them this year.
Now we move on to another team, a team that we thought could be a get-right team, the Seattle Seahawks, but they have been playing really well. Geno Smith has been going off.
MVP.
Fantasy owners should really look at adding him to the team. And they play against the Arizona Cardinals.
I got the Seahawks to win this one, kind of for the same reasons. I think Geno Smith, he's really shown that he could be a quarterback, and even though he says everybody wrote him off and he didn't write back, I mean, he's sticking to it. He's been playing great football, and despite a lot of people thinking the Seahawks are just going to be nowhere to be seen this year, they've been putting up some great games, and I think the Seahawks will take this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your hands clapping, get ready, get your popcorn ready. This game is probably the must-watch game of the year. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. We probably all saw that game last year. 13 seconds, overtime, Chiefs pull out the win, 42-36. Ultimate shootout. this is going to be as good as it gets. Both teams playing amazing right now.
I still like the Bills to win this one. I think they're just the better all-around team. What I saw from the Chiefs last night in the Raiders game was that their offense is still just as good as ever. They're not missing Tyreek. But what I saw is their defense can be exposed by number one wide receivers that are actual number one wide receivers. And guess what? The Bills have one. His name is Stephon Diggs, and he is him. All right?
We do have a good game on Sunday night this week, though. The Cowboys and the Eagles. Cooper Rush still undefeated. Dak may be back, though. But one loss Cowboys against the undefeated Eagles. Winner takes first place in the NFC East. The Eagles, I want them to lose because I'm a Fins fan. The Fins had the only undefeated record from way back in 1972, even though some of those players are, moving on to greener pastures.
The big end zone in the sky.
Monday Night Football. Broncos country. Why? What happened? The right has broke.
I don't know. Obviously, they can't run an offense. They've just been terrible. I mean, you're not going to win many games putting up. What they put up? Nine points last week. They didn't even score a touchdown.
The last time out was 11.
Yeah. So their offense clearly isn't clicking. Russell Wilson's got some issues with his shoulder, I guess. I got the Chargers here. I don't think it's going to be ugly, but I definitely do think the Chargers will win this one easily.
Yeah. Broncos country, let's hide, because this game's not going to be pretty for you.
All right, guys, and this wraps it up for Week 6 of Hard Hitters. After having a few bye weeks for the Hurricane, we are back. We're glad that you all are okay, for you, the viewers. And we'll be back next week to recap our Week 6 game of the week and make our picks and predictions for Week 7. Thank you, guys, and have a great week.